All right, we got a good one. This is a good one. And it involves CNN of all networks. It's one of the first times where I am just agreeing with the CNN newscaster. I'm like, yeah. Here's the deal. A 30-year-old man distraught after a judge rules he must move out of his parents' house. Now, I'd call him a kid, but if you're 30 years old, you've got full-on beard, probably better than I can grow. You got some long hair. Doesn't look like you've been out of your parents' basement for a long time. If you're 30 years old, living with your parents, what are you even doing? Son, get a move on. And that's kind of what the CNN person said. It's wild. I mean, how do people get to this position where they're like, yeah, I'm just not really going to do anything. I'm just going to stay here and, just kind of goof around. And, mom cooks for me and I do my own laundry. But, I mean, how do you get to that point in life where you're just so unmotivated, you can't even figure out a way to move out of your parents' house when you're 30 years old? A 30-year-old man is feeling unprepared for the real world after multiple eviction attempts resulted in a judge ordering him to vacate his parents' house. Let's take a little quick look-see at what the judge is saying. Let's play this storyline. This is from CNN. Interviewed this dude, national TV. How embarrassing. The guy had to have known he was going to come across as just a moron. But that's what we're dealing with here. This is a lot of what is at Antifa. This is what is at a lot of rallies. This is what you're working with. Okay. Take a peek.
Let's rewind for a second, because it's my understanding you've lived, at your parents' house rent-free for 8 years. And I know you do your own laundry, you buy your own food, but they asked you 5 times, please move out. Why couldn't you guys resolve this without the court?
I would consider much of what they were doing to try to get me out as a tax, and what I was trying to preserve, trying to do what's best for me, which is just, let's try to be a little more reasonable. I'll leave.
The guy can't even get out a straight answer. And the reporter is looking at him going, oh, what? He comes up with, well, what they're trying to do to me is a tax. This is not a tax. This is not a tax. This is you flying your wings as a human being on your own. Fly, little birdie, fly. You can do it. You can do it. You can go get that job, be a big boy, and pay that rent on your own, and food and car insurance and your own cell phone and clothes and toiletries. And, you get the picture, right? So this reporter is like, trying to give this guy a break, but he literally trailed off. It's almost like it's a joke, right? Well, I view this as a tax. How do you come up with this is a tax as your best explanation for why, after 5 notices of eviction, you're still living with mom and dad?
I'll leave. I don't like living here, but I need reasonable time. And as an example of this, the first notice that I received, the February 2nd notice, was basically, you have 14 days before you're outside in the winter weather. So the first thing I did when I got that was I made sure that wasn't going to happen. I contacted the police department. I said, is this something that's, that this could happen? And they're like, no, you just call us. That they can't do that. And I said, all right. And I was like, all right. And
this guy is as dumb as a box of rocks. That's the bottom line. I called the police and they said it couldn't. No, it couldn't happen.
Let me just understand, because I hear you on your parents giving you notices. The fact that you were on national television talking about moving out of your parents' house. You tell me you want to move out of your parents' house. Why don't you just move out of your parents' house, like tomorrow?
I don't have the means to do that tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
do you have a job?
No.
Are you trying to get a job? Because I read that one of the things your parents asked of you, there are jobs available even for those with a poor work history like you. Get one, you have to work. Are you working on that?
Are we seeing a change in CNN here? Is that what we're witnessing at this point in time? She's saying you got to get a job. I don't know. What's going on here? You got to get a job. She's questioning him. Hey, you got to get a job and move on.
Yeah.
Legal expenses aside and time spent in court, I'm sure you're irked. I'm sure your parents are irked, but you only have one mom and dad. And I understand
Right.
that you are probably more upset than even you're letting on, but don't you want to reconcile with them?
No.
This guy lived rent-free for how many years, and he doesn't want to he doesn't want to reconcile with his parents. That guy's a moron. He's a moron. We're not going to listen to him anymore. A judge in Syracuse, New York, has ordered Michael Rotondo to move out of his parents' home after the man refused to leave despite receiving 5 written eviction notices over several months. So this hasn't been just a boom, kick him out on the streets, right? Christina and Mark Rotondo claimed their son Michael doesn't contribute to the family's expenses, refuses to help with chores, and snubs the idea of leaving to make a life for himself. Why would he? You've enabled him. Now, the parents have some liability here as well. They've got some responsibility. They did not raise somebody that obviously has the life skills to get out there. Fly, little birdie, fly. It's time to go. You're 30 years old. You've literally got a man beard. You've got hair like Jesus. You got to get going. And I feel for these kids, and I am going to refer to him as a kid because emotionally he is not in a position where he can do the flying that he needs to do. So what happened? Did his parents just completely coddle him? Is there something mentally wrong with him? I didn't seem like it. He just seems like he's flat lazy. He didn't even have good preparation for this interview. Let's see, I'm going on CNN. They're probably going to grill me on this. He did wear a suit. Or at least a sports coat and tie. So from that standpoint, I'm going to give him credit, but also that means if you can dress up like that, you can dress up like that and go get yourself a JOB. Get that cold, hard cash money. That's how this works, right? After the eviction notices were ignored, the couple had no other option than to take their son to court. Imagine that at family Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, where's Johnny? Where's not little Johnny? Where's 30-year-old Johnny? Well, we had to take him to court. And after 5 eviction notices, the judge agreed. And we're not really on speaking terms at the moment. Oh, court, eviction, judges. How about those Bears, right? That's one of those moments. According to HLN, CNN's sister network, Michael told the judge that he is aware his family wants him to move, but he is unable to establish a home for himself. That is the same stuff that I hear from homeless folks every single day in one way or another. You watch enough videos and you're like, okay, at some point in time, you got to take responsibility for yourself and your life and get a move on. Some people have had shocking stuff go on in their life, and I get that. And there are people, but a ton of folks are just like, yeah, I didn't really want to move out. So, I got myself a tent and I moved to Seattle and I'm living happily ever after on the streets, losing all my teeth, doing a lot of drugs. It's great. It's great. I don't like living here, Michael said. I'm getting together the means to do that. When he said he didn't like living there, and then the reporter is like, why don't you move out? Most reasonable thing I've ever seen on CNN. It's wild. What is this world coming to? I don't even know, right? With my parents, they want me out right away. Nah. You had 5 notices. That's not right away. You had plenty of time. 14 days notice? You can figure that out. Figure it out. All right. And then I'll tell you why he can figure it out because we're going to get to that. And they're not really interested in providing reasonable time. And the court is siding with them as it seems, he added. Well, the judge said, you've had enough notice. His parents are even willing to help him out. That's the bottom line. That's why he's not bitching about that too. Oh, you're not giving me any money. Well, you've had 8 years of living there. Since you were 22, you've just been kind of monkeying around, just taking advantage. What are you doing all day? Are you watching porn? Are you playing video games? You don't have a girlfriend because you'd probably be living with her, right? What are you doing? Are you eating Cheetos? At least go out and be a dog walker for the neighborhood people, right? You walk some people's dogs, get a little money, do something, get some exercise. Cardio. Remember in, what was that movie with Woody Harrelson and that other kid? Oh, Zombieland? Yeah, cardio. It's important because you got to be able to outrun the zombies. I mean, cardio, you need it. Walk those dogs. Christina and Mark reportedly began warning their son that his stay would be coming to an end back in February. But Michael dismissed each of their written eviction requests. And he called the cops and they said, no, I can't do that. Well, yeah, judge is saying otherwise. Interesting. The parents also offered to help him secure a new place to live and give him a $1,100 cushion to help him get started. What more do you need here, young man? I don't know. Probably a swift kick in the behind. Out you go. Let's make this go. You hate to be harsh at some point in time. As a parent, you hate to be harsh, but that is probably the best thing you can do is just a swift kick in the ass and say, hey, get your ass together and let's go. It's go time. Let's be an adult. That is what this young man needs. And a judge is agreeing. He's like, no, I mean, yeah, you're just prolonging the inevitable. You gotta go. And you've also been giving plenty of time and notice, right? Since Michael continued to refuse his parents' exit strategy, they were forced to take their son to court. Michael asked the judge to dismiss the request, claiming he had never been expected to contribute to household expenses or assist with chores and the maintenance of the premises. I bet he had. I bet he is lying. He is lying through his teeth, right? Because when he was asked, do you have a job? There was kind of this, he just had this blank look on his face. A job? Well, no, but I'm making plans. Hey, and a lot of people that are down on their luck, they're like, no, I'm making some big plans. I really am planning on going to rehab. I'm really going to go to detox. I am planning it. I am thinking about it. That's kind of the predecessor to actually making a decision, right? I'm planning on it. I'm putting together plans. No, you're not. You're lying. Get the F out. Go get a job. Michael also claimed the situation was simply a component of his living agreement, according to filings obtained by CNN affiliate. What? Simply a component of his living agreement. Well, yeah, but now you're going to take that component and take it out the door with you onto your next location where you're going to reside. After hearing both parties, the court's ruling did not fall in Michael's favor. I was glad to hear that. New York State Supreme Court Judge Donald Greenwood disagreed with Michael's appeal, saying, I'm granting the eviction. I think the notice is sufficient. Gavel drops. Boom! Out you go, son. After court, Michael met with reporters and called the ruling ridiculous, sharing he plans to appeal. You're not going to get anywhere there, son. And it seems to me like I should be provided with, 30 days or so, because generally you get 30 days after you found, to have to vacate the premises. No, Michael, I don't know. Actually, you've had so many extensions on this because your parents probably love you and they are not able to do the tough love thing, which is that swift kick to the ass, out the door you go. Michael said, as reported by CNN, so I'm expecting something like that, but realistically, if that's not the case, I don't know. What is he even saying at this point? I don't know either. Michael also told HLN that he is not sure why he's being asked to leave so quickly. 5 notices? It's been going on since February. We're in June. I don't really hope to reconcile. I really just want to get out of the situation, Michael said. Okay. The one way you're going to do that is, yep, you got it, out the door. He expects to be able to move within 3 months. Okay, so you're going to go get a job. You're going to build up some money. You know what? I bet you your parents will help you out. Hey, here's a little money for first, last, and deposit. Okay, but you're on the hook. You got to go get that JOB. You got to pay it after this point. If not, you get evicted from there. You can't come back to our house. It's go time, son. That is what he needs. That is what a ton of people that we see walking around or sitting on the sidewalk or doing something. They need the swift kick in the ass to get going. And all we're doing is coddling them, enabling them to just kind of keep doing their lifestyle. So this kid looks like he's a good kid as far as he doesn't look like he's on a bunch of drugs. He just looks like he's ultimately lazy. He's just lazy. There's a lot of people out there like that. But even lazy people can figure out how to go get a job, go do their thing, be a marginally contributing member of society. So you go do your 8 hours, then you play Xbox all night, smoke the doobie, whatever it is you're going to do that makes you happy. Go do that. But you got to pay your bills, and you can't have mom and dad paying them forever. And that's where I see some parents doing that. And I'm like, you're not helping folks out. You are literally just creating a situation where your kid is just going to be a, quasi vegetable the rest of his life or her life, and not really be able to fend for themselves. And nobody really wants that. I mean, people don't want to be living at home with their parents. They want to be out. But if it's too comfortable, then what they're going to do is they're just going to stay there until it gets too comfortable. And for Michael, it appears like it's too comfortable, and he's still trying to hang on. I give this guy credit for trying to spin this situation in a way that we want to feel some empathy to him, but I think it's past that. And I think the judge also saw that. The judge was like, yeah, I think the time frame has been adequate. Yeah, I'm going to rule in the parents' fail. You need to go. Case dismissed. Yeah, what a weird deal, right? Got to boot your kid out. He just won't go. He just won't leave. Have to physically throw him out. Hey, we asked you 5 times via eviction notices to go. We haven't had any of them forced because, you're our son. And, that whole Thanksgiving thing is going to be really awkward. Doesn't sound like this kid is able to really kind of work that through. He doesn't want to reconcile with his parents. He just wants to get out of the situation, but doesn't really know how. Well, walking out that door with a bag of your stuff and figuring it out, that's probably the first step. And you know what? Your parents are going to help you out. They're going to help you out, whether for good or for bad, whatever. If they're already offering you $1,100, they want you to go because they know that you need to get a job. You need to move on with your, adult life. And at age 30, that is well past the time frame. But in today's society, we just seem to be enabling people longer and longer and longer, right? I mark it at 25 now. It used to be you get your kid to 18. Okay, time to go. Now they got college, or you feel bad because they're not doing the college thing. And okay, let's just let them live a little bit longer at home. Housing's so expensive. All right. But at some point in time, you got to be brutally honest and say, hey, you need to go, you get whatever job that is. You need to be contributing. You need to go get a house or whatever with 14 of your friends, and 2 of you live in each of the bedrooms. Do whatever it takes to make that go. Figure it out. Because at some point in time, you're going to have to figure this stuff out. And I feel like as parents, the folks that are out there, in my position, a lot of them are just like, we love our kids. What do we do? Things are so expensive. Swift kick to the ass, out you go. Unfortunately, tough love is sometimes what people need. All right, that's what I'm going to leave you with here. Tough love. It's a real thing. Go and do it. You can do it. Fly, little birdie, fly. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch up soon. Talk then. Bye for now.